Hey guys, and welcome back to the Aether Hub. I'm Zyben, bringing you more Magic the Gathering lore. Today's video is about the future of MTG's story, as announcement day just came and kicked us all back a little. Stunning revelations, the return to a favorited plane, and some unsettling thoughts that I had as a result. Let's get talking some future lore. So if you're living under a cardboard rock, or your nose has just been deep in MTG Arena recently, you may have missed the massive spring announcement from Wizards of the Coast. It basically laid out the future of the game for the next year or so, along with the reveal of how our next sets will impact the story moving forward, at least hinting in the direction they're going. Grab your Golgari deck sleeves and Boros Zealotry boys, we're heading back to Ravnica. And yes, go ahead and make your return to Ravnica jokes now, guys. Get it out of your systems and do it quick. That joke's gonna get real old real fast after Ravnica Set 2. Yeah, you heard me right. We ain't spending just one set on Ravnica, not even two, but 3 whole entire sets on the Plane of Guilds. So when I first heard this news, literally I was reading the announcement while at work, and I was like a new father hearing that his beloved was pregnant for the first time. Then, as I continued, taking my wife to get her first sonogram and the doctor saying, "Oh, congratulations, there's another, and another!" Well, as you would imagine from that awfully crafted real-world example, I was in shock. Not because I don't love Ravnica, don't get me wrong, but more because I'm just not in a place right now in my life where I can handle 3. The financial burden alone. But you know what? We'll pull through together, I'm sure. Back to reality for a second. The news that we're heading back to Ravnica shouldn't have surprised anyone if they've been paying the least bit attention to the story. Everything's been leading to Ravnica as the plan the Gatewatch intend to face down Nicol Bolas for round 2, and hopefully last a little bit longer than 10 minutes this time. Sorry guys, you kinda blew it on Amonkhet. From what we gathered from the story, it sounds like Ajani Goldmane has ventured to Ravnica, already meeting there with Jace Beleren, and he's gathered more allies for the fight to come. We assume these are Planeswalker allies, but we aren't really given a hint at who they could be. My bet would be a mix of old and new characters from across the multiverse. So they're on Ravnica, along with the still memory-wiped Vraska, as they know Nicol Bolas plans to spring a trap on the world of guilds. We're not entirely sure what that trap may look like, but we know it involves the Immortal Sun artifact he nicked from Ixalan, as well as his zombie army from Amonkhet. We believe he'll be bringing the Immortal Sun to Ixalan using the planar portal built into his right metal hand man Tezzeret, and use its power to lock down any planeswalkers who are or come to Ravnica. Ravnica has always been seen as a crossroads of the multiverse, a place where planeswalkers regularly travel or come back to in the course of their various adventures, and Nicol Bolas isn't wrong. So, as they eventually funnel in, Bolas plans on killing and siphoning their sparks from them, essentially. All in a bid to restore his lost godlike powers that were majorly reduced via the mending. Whew, that was a lot. So what are the sets themselves, and how will they be structured? Remember, Wizards of the Coast has stepped away from the 3 or even 2 set block model moving forward. So with Dominaria being the first of the solo sets, these next 3 sets of Ravnica will all be standalone sets with their own individual draft formats and each adding to the standard meta. This is kind of funny because, as they said they were stepping away from the 3-set block archetype, they essentially returned to it here with Ravnica. Yes, these will all be large sets spaced appropriately apart from one another, but still, story-wise, it's basically like 3 congruent sets. It starts off with Guilds of Ravnica in October. Stand with your guild, they say. Pretty standard flair for a Ravnica set. Guild identity is a big part of the selling point here. Now, just like previous Ravnica blocks, these individual sets will focus on specific guilds in the first 2 sets, with a significant story build-up and conclusion happening within the final set. Here, this formula is continued, as Guilds of Ravnica focuses on, along with the story building, the guilds of the Boros, Izzet, Dimir, Golgari, and Selesnya. Following Guilds of Ravnica will be Ravnica Allegiance, somewhere in January 2019. Yeah, we get some time gap here. Anyway, this set will see us defending our guilds as the story continues to progress, and we're introduced to cards and mechanics for the Azorius, Gruul, Simic, Rakdos, and Orzhov. As they say, we, quote, reached the penultimate moment of the Gatewatch story. Then this is all going to be wrapped up in the final Ravnica set, which is currently unnamed because, well, the name will probably give away a lot of the story and it's just way too early for that. All the news that we're given on it is that, quote, while the setting will be Ravnica, the focus will be on the culmination of the story and not the guilds. That means the final fight with Nicol Bolas, and probably the end of the Gatewatch as we know them. Either someone's gonna die, multiple people are gonna die, or the group will just disband after a job well done just to take a breather and have other stories naturally unfold. Either way, it looks like this Ravnica quote-unquote block is gonna be huge for the story and could potentially change everything we've built since our return to Zendikar. What does it mean for the story ultimately? We're not sure yet. We just know it's gonna be big, and honestly, it better be. I mean, this is their Avengers Infinity War moment. Something we've really never seen in Magic the Gathering, at least in its current iteration. But we're gonna have to wait for more information to come before making any insane predictions, because you know I never do that, guys. Anyway, how is this news going to affect the channel? So glad you asked. Well, we'll be doing a lot of Ravnica lore stuff leading up to the first set of the block, making sure you all know the history of the plane and the guilds we're about to see. So yeah, this is super exciting news to me, guys, not only as a player who loves the aesthetic and feel of Ravnica as a plane, and just adores my guild of choice, the Simic, but also as a Vorthos YouTuber who's just looking for topics to cover. And believe me, Ravnica's got a lot of those. Anyway guys, let me know your own thoughts, comments, and concerns about our return to Ravnica. Will 3 sets spaced fairly far apart lead to Ravnica fatigue in the player base? That's my main concern. So how do you guys feel? Regardless, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you throw it a like, subscribe to the channel, and of course, share it across the multiverse. You can also support the channel and your favorite guilds over on our Patreon page. Join the Vorthos army to get signed cards, access to our Discord, and a bunch of exclusive content as a member of the Vorthos army. See all the great benefits and consider joining by checking the link in the video's description. As always guys, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time here on the Aether Hub.